get here, and then
We're live.
I'll put it away.
We're live, at least on the YouTube side. There's the food. Go get the food. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Our dinner's here, so we're not going to get to really eat it because we're going to be doing a show. But hey, we are live up on YouTube right now, and I'm about to start a live video feed on Facebook. Here we go. Yeah, it's really dark. Oh, I see why. Because no, I don't see why. Why? There we go. We are now going live on Facebook. Okay, if anybody's out there, we're going to be starting in a couple of minutes. Susie's securing my dinner, which is a good thing. She should be doing that. All right, yeah, I'm actually sorry, folks. I'm listening to Susie do some stuff. Yeah, we got a couple of chat rooms open. We're not starting yet because I'm still waiting on my co-host. You know how she is. She's awesome, is how she is, by the way, in case you were wondering. I need to make sure. Oh, let's start recording, shall we? Let's do that. Okay, I'm now recording. Yep. And I'm coming through. Good deal. Put the phones on, and we're about ready to start, but we're still waiting on Susie. Oh, she's still talking to the dude, so can't hold her accountable. But it's just now 7, so we're not doing too bad. So if you're watching, it's just me drinking a beer. That's the show tonight. The entire show is just going to be me sitting here drinking beer. I don't think I'm even going to talk about anything. I'm just going to drink beer. That's all. More beer drinking. Yeah, I can imagine you were. So anyway, I am looking at the Facebook feed. There's like somebody looking at it.
Hi.
Whoever you are, hello. And I can't see, it doesn't show me on the other one. Well, no, it says one viewer. So hey, there's somebody watching on each of them.
Hey,
Huzzah.
do I sound okay?
You sound fine. So you're gonna watch the chat rooms for me today?
Facebook. I don't know about YouTube. YouTube and me never get along, but how about this? I give it a try.
I will, Chris. I will enjoy this beer, my friend. All right, let's kick the show off, shall we?
We shall.
All right, just be quiet. I'm not going to mute your mic. We're going to do the intro.
Science and technology.
Marie, she's the type of scientist I wanna be. Winning those Nobels left and right, study pitch blend and overnight. Got isotopes in her pocket, radiation on the brain. As for radium and polonium, she discovers them and gives them their names. Marie Curie.
Welcome to the bar room. I'm Bill here with my co-host Susie.
Hi, everybody.
And from fabulous barroom studios, including Dogs Playing Poker, we are coming to you from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which I'm saying this week for no reason. That is not a lead up to anything. We did a Saturday special last week, and we're doing another one. It's like 2 weeks in a row for us, which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. But as a special treat, I know you guys are waiting and hoping there's going to be a Bible tonight. Yay. No, it's not a good thing. It's really not. It's Jeremiah.
So, just to say hey to some people, we got Sean Sandin in the chat room.
Names.
Okay. But it's on the Facebook
Yeah, but it's
page.
going to go out on the feed too.
Okay.
I'll cut it out on the feed.
Okay. Sorry, Sean. And he's from Utah.
Yeah, because I don't want to, because I'm going to put it out on the feed, and, you know.
And we're doing the whole privacy thing. So I haven't got
try.
I haven't got YouTube up yet, but I'm working on it.
I got it up. I don't know if anybody's there, but
Oh, and Chris is here
should we say hello?
talking about, and yes, I'm gonna enjoy my beer.
That was me. Yeah, I don't see anybody chatting in YouTube, so but we'll be monitoring both because that's what we do.
All right, you be the
Because
YouTube
we're
guy.
freaking awesome that way. So, Susie, news. There's like a news out there.
Yeah, there's news.
Yeah, I want to talk about something that came out recently. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has issued a directive to flesh out Trump's freedom of religion executive order. Earlier this year, they were targeting the tax code, right? The Johnson Amendment. We talked about that. We had Dave Silverman on talk about that. But this, okay? Listen to this. I am going to read you some quotes from what he said about it. Our freedom as citizens has always been inextricably linked with our religious freedom as a people. It has protected both the freedom to worship and the freedom not to believe. Bullshit. Every American has a right to believe, worship, and exercise their faith. The protections for this right enshrined in our Constitution serve to declare and protect this important part of our heritage. Now, this sounds good on its faith, but especially I like the way he threw in not to believe, as if in the history of this country it hasn't been illegal in many places to be an atheist.
Right.
As if we haven't put atheists in jail. But, you know.
Have we?
Yes, atheists have gone to jail in this country before for being atheists.
For being atheists?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
It's been just under 100 years since the last case I could find. It was in Texas. They threw a guy because he said there is no God. Blasphemy laws used to exist in this country, and that was considered blasphemy.
That's stupid.
Yeah, here you go. How do I know this is a bad thing? Tony Perkins, president of the Conservative Family Research Council, we know who they are, lauded both actions on Friday and said 8 years of the federal government's relentless assault on the First Amendment, the Trump administration has taken concrete steps today that will once again erect a bulwark of protection around America's first freedom, religious freedom. Yeah, why is Tony Perkins afraid of, in favor of this? Because he hates gay people.
You know, the thing that bothers me is it's not they word it wrong. They're not promoting religious freedom. They're promoting just religion.
That's true.
You know, they don't want religious freedom. They want freedom with religion to do whatever they want.
That is exactly what they want. They don't want freedom to be religious. They want freedom to do whatever they want.
As religious, yeah.
And say, because Jesus.
Because how do you fight? You can't say, no, this because not Jesus, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work that way.
And it is specifically targeted against LGBTQ people. But don't fear everybody else. It can be used against you too. This is an equal opportunity discriminatory bullshit directive from our Attorney General. It is certainly, and again, Tony Perkins is kind of a giveaway. They're targeting LGBTQ people first. But I mean, sure, you could discriminate against black people if you didn't like them. You could just say, well, my religion says, and then just pull out your Bible, pull applicable verses about races and not mixing races. And yeah, really, you know what? If you don't know how to find those verses yourself, just look up a white supremacist website. They've been doing it for hundreds of years.
Yep.
So yeah, they've got the verses already picked out for you. Don't worry about it.
Hey, I gotta take a little. There's something totally distracting me that your cat did.
Yeah, I know.
So.
I see it. So Susie's gonna do that. But go ahead and it can be used against anybody. And basically, what they're saying, because they specifically asked Jeff Sessions if a government employee did not want to provide service to a gay couple, could they refuse? And he said, I really don't know. You're the fucking Attorney General. If you don't know, who the fuck knows? Of course he knows. That's exactly why it's there. It's so that the Kim Davises of the world can say, yes, the law says you have a right to do this, but I ain't doing it because Jesus. No, I'm serious. And and people will be able to just say, nope, You know, let's say you're in the VA and you're a doctor. Oh, I'm not treating that gay person.
Right?
Right? It could include federal contractors. They asked him specifically, would a federal contractor who was providing emergency services in a disaster be able to do that? And he said, I don't know. I'll have to get you a written answer on that. Bullshit, you don't fucking know, Jeff. Come on.
Can you please explain to me
And they
why?
said this kind of religious freedom should only be curtailed in the most narrow of circumstances. That's how it's worded. So what do they mean? Killing people? I mean, is that the
What do they do?
if your religion conflicts with the law, they're supposed to go give people leeway on their religion. That's what it says. If there's a conflict between the law and someone's religion, except in the most narrow of circumstances, they're supposed to let the person have their religious freedom.
Rich says these are the same arguments that are used against blacks in the 50s and 60s.
You know, they're going to use them against blacks in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can't say, well, it only applies to LGBTQ people because that's what our Christianity thinks. Because anybody now can twist that little Bible into whatever the hell they want, as we've seen.
Yeah.
We can pull examples. They're on the internet. Hello, welcome to the 21st century, of where people have actually done that. The biblical defense of African slavery was solid, my friends. Solid. Now, yes, the abolitionists also used the Bible to argue against it, but their arguments were much weaker because the Bible supports slavery. It just does.
Oh, I agree with Carol. Would this not be cool? She says she'd love to see it go the other way. I won't serve that person. They're wearing a crucifix.
That's true. You could technically do
you
that.
could do that, right?
However, I don't think they give a shit because they're the majority. They're the overwhelming majority in the country. And yeah, they won't get served at one restaurant.
But they would
in one
make
town.
a stink.
It would. It would.
And then you would say,
and somebody probably should.
Equality, motherfuckers.
And somebody probably should. I don't serve Christians.
Right.
You know, that'd be fucking great if you worked for a government agency and you would sign up with the Temple of Satan. You know, get your card. Susie has a card. I could get a card. Let's say
card carrying member.
Let's say I worked at the fucking DMV. Okay. Well, there we go. Got my card. I'm not serving any Christians. I could put my feet up most of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the people coming in are Christian. I'll just ask them, you Christian? No, not serving you. Hail Satan. Get out of here. Get out. You have to wait for somebody else.
Yep.
I mean, technically, that's what it says. Now, you think I'd get away with that? No.
Nope.
No, I get fired.
But
I get fired. But if a Christian came
you'd
in and
have
said,
the
I'm not
best
serving that gay
case
couple.
ever, like for the FFRF.
I truly would. I truly would. So if anybody works at the DMV and happens to be a member of the Temple of Satan, not saying you should do this, but the guidance is out there from the Attorney General. You know, it's an attack on LGBTQ people, and frankly, with the alt-right and the folks that marched in Charlottesville, it would not surprise me to see it be used racially, anti-Semitically, misogynistically. There you go. How about that? I don't serve women.
Right?
I don't think women should drive. My religion says they really shouldn't drive. So, no women, no Christians. And if I throw some race in there, I'm only going to serve the white dudes who aren't Christian and who have red hair, because that's in my religion too.
Right.
You know, Satan red hair.
Satan red hair.
Now, in fact, I'll only serve members of the Temple of Satan. That's it. Period. End of story. I know I'm making an absurd argument about it, but this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Gay couples are going to be denied services. Trans people are going to be denied services. That's going to happen soon, and it's going to happen all over the country because the Attorney General just gave them permission to do that and said, "Hey, you know, it's their religion." See what?
But wait, though,
what they're saying
isn't there a law that
yes
makes
yes
who gives a shit what the Attorney General says? There's a law that says that
absolutely. But here's what the directive says, based on the executive order, based on the legal interpretation from the Attorney General. You can break the law for your religion. You can do shit that is otherwise illegal if it's doing your religious freedom, and only in the most narrow circumstances should the law trump. I suppose if you're going to kill people, maybe that one. I wish Congress had asked Jeff Sessions that. Well, what are those narrow circumstances? Is murder? I mean, can I rob gay people but not kill them? What is it? Can you beat them? Can you stone them as part of your religious freedom? Because it clearly says in the Bible to stone them.
Right.
Can you do that? That's what they should be asking him. Which law trumps? Not killing people or the biblical commandment to stone them?
Barb is in the chat room.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hi,
So-
Barb.
I hope you don't get stoned. And I mean that in the biblical sense, not the other.
Hey, why don't you tell
Not the other, because I'm all for the 420.
Why don't you tell Barb what Jeff Sessions said?
Well, she could rewind because we're doing a show, and I'm not going to rewind every time somebody comes in the chat room. Love you. But I also have some clips on some other things. But that one was our top story because, yeah, I don't know what the action we should be taking about this is. I pledged some money to the Human Rights Campaign today. What else can we do? He's the Attorney General. We lost that fight. We lost it in November. We lost it when he was confirmed.
How do you get like LGBTQ people added to like the Civil Rights Act? Because Rich was asking.
We've been working on that.
Rich said it's only because LGBTQ isn't protected class in the Civil Rights Act.
No.
It should be.
Actually,
Sexual orientation is.
That's the problem, Rich. What he said was it doesn't matter if they're in the Civil Rights Act. If your religion tells you to break that law, then your religion takes precedence, except in very narrow circumstances. That's what they're saying. That's literally what he said, what he wrote down.
But okay, so see, this is the problem with. I mean, there's many problems with that, but this is what I think that Mr. Sessions, who has to be a flaming fucking idiot, doesn't understand. What if some other religion besides Christianity decides to do their shit?
They never concern themselves with that. And when some other
Because
religion,
Christianity is the majority.
and when some other religion does take that same action, they freak the fuck out.
I think every other religion should take that same action,
Because there was a thing
just to make
where
them
they were
freak
given
the fuck out.
they were given some. It was in the South. I wouldn't say it was Louisiana. They were given some kind of preferential treatment to Christian schools, religious schools. They were given money or something. I forget. Vouchers. They were able to do vouchers, and people objected to that. And then an Islamic school started taking advantage of the vouchers too, and they freaked the fuck out.
Right.
And they said, well, it was only supposed to be the founders' religions. That's literally what the Republicans said in response to that. So yeah, they're going to say, no, it's just Christianity. They're going to twist the argument back
But
to
see,
it's
that's
just
the thing, though.
Christianity.
They
And here's the
can't.
problem. Though. Now we're 3 steps down the line. Okay, we've accepted that this is the law of the land. And now we're arguing what religions it can apply to. Fuck you, it can't apply to any. See, we don't want to be having that conversation. Are other religions okay to do this too? We don't want to get that because then we're saying it's okay to be that way. It's not. We have laws that we collectively as a society live by. We, passed by our representatives. Everybody has to live by them. I don't care what fairy tales you believe in. You must follow the same laws as everybody else. If you think the laws are wrong, then you fight to change the damn laws. You don't sit here and claim, get out of law free card because Jesus.
But
You-
that's what they do.
Right, but that's why I have a problem with this. That's what I'm saying. So
What else you got going on?
I got
in
some
that
clips.
head of yours.
I got some clips. Are you ready for some clips?
Do we have any fun clips?
There's no such thing as a fun clip on this show. What show have you been listening to?
I don't listen to any of them.
All right, this is
Sorry.
from a guy named Carl Gallops. And that's all I labeled the thing. So it's going to be interesting. Let's listen to this clip. Are you ready?
And waiting.
If a woman wears sexually suggestive clothing around a man, is that not also sexual assault?
I don't know, Susie.
Really?
Is that sexual assault? If you know,
Really? Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh.
This was kind of a backlash. Now I remember what it was about. It is a backlash to the Me Too campaign,
Wow.
which I definitely want to talk about tonight too. I wanted to talk about like what they're saying about.
That's crazy.
So, do you think it's sexual assault if a woman wears suggestive clothing?
No.
No, you're just like no.
No, it's just not.
Well, let's listen to why he thinks that.
It's a sexual assault if the woman grabs a guy's cock while she's wearing sexy clothing.
Okay, yeah, that would be. Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
It's not even harassment.
Without consent. We have to throw that in. Without consent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. you
If
gotta-
she goes up to him and says, "May I grab your cock?"
and he says,
and
yes,
he says,
please.
"Why, certainly.
Why, certainly.
Please grab away," then that would be okay. We're not. What we're trying to get at, listeners, is we're not against cock grabbing. That's great, but have consent first.
Right.
So let's listen to what they have to say,
All right.
and you're gonna love this argument. It's hilarious.
Men are visually stimulated, and unwanted stimulation should meet the basic definition of assault. I'm not condoning bad behavior by men, but women need to understand that by walking around in their little sister's skirt, they are guilty of indecent visual assault on a man's imagination, which does cause mental anguish and
Wow.
He just said they're guilty of assaulting somebody's imagination.
Yeah. That's freaking reaching.
So basically, what he's saying is they're guilty of imaginary assault. What is that, dude? That's like Jesus.
That's
You know, it's
funny.
imaginary. I know, right? And what if it's their big sister's skirt, not their little sister's
so-
skirt? I mean, does that make a
If
difference?
it's like 7 times too big for them?
No, I just mean older.
Oh,
Because like, what if you're a younger lady and your older sister has all the hot clothes? So it could be. I don't know where he got little sister.
I thought he was talking about size because it's smaller. Like if you
I
wore
think what he's
a skirt
talking
this
about
big.
is he's a pedophile.
Barb said it might be the stupidest thing she ever heard.
Oh no, just wait, just tune in for the rest of this show.
torment, especially on men who are really trying to live in harmony and respect toward women. When a man sees a naked or partially dressed woman, a chemical reaction happens in his brain. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin are released, giving him an involuntary surge of pleasure.
Okay, so you're being involuntarily made happy.
Oh my
Is
God.
what he just said. And I have news for you, dude. Everything that goes on in our brain is a chemical reaction. So it's not like this girl's skirt is making chemicals go off in your brain. Your brain's constantly doing stuff like that. And this is fucking hilarious. All right. When we're done, you know what religion these guys are. But if you didn't know, what religion would you guess?
Notice the word involuntary there. Men are in a state of constant sexual assault by women who either don't understand the severity of what they're doing because, it's cute and they like the attention, or worse, they do know the feelings it stirs and like the control they have over men.
That could be true.
Very true.
I know that is true. Some women do fucking like that control it gives them over men.
Yeah.
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 And it works. Okay. It fucking works. So what?
Does that mean men are the weaker species?
For time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In that zone. Yeah.
In that zone, yes.
Because it's funny because people tell me as a white male, I have all the power. No, I don't.
No, I do.
There are many areas where I don't, that women have far more power over me. And this especially applies to men from like 17 to about 27. They can literally be got to do anything by the promise of sex. Period. So,
Hey,
but let's go on.
quick second. Your feed's still going for Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Is it moving?
Yes.
Okay. Because mine's not anymore. I was sad.
Oh, because it may be locked up or something. I don't know. Let me
All
check.
right, just checking.
Let me check the YouTube feed. No, we stop for a second so we can do this. It's fine. I'm sure people don't mind. Weird. You know what? It's funny because like on YouTube, At least the way I'm looking at it,
Oh, it's back. Okay.
it's backwards.
Yeah.
The room is reversed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. So yeah, if anybody wants to go look at the YouTube feed, it's and we got so off topic, but yeah,
Sorry.
we're talking about women, and some people in the chat room have already picked up on what religion I'm talking about. That these guys sound like they're from, because this is the exact argument that's been made by a particular religion forever.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
If it was reversed, if a guy in an office setting, say, where professional dress was expected, but then the next thing you know, he goes into the bathroom and comes back out with a very sexually suggestive outfit, whatever that would be, and started parading in amongst the women that he worked with, I guarantee you there would be sexual harassment claims, sexual,
No.
even.
That wouldn't.
Depends on the guy. Really, it depends on the dude. I mean, if it's old creepy Fred, then yeah, there's gonna be some things, yeah. But I mean, if he's a young hot guy, yeah, there may not be any complaints at all. But
no,
here's where they get into bullshit.
No, I don't believe that. Women aren't gonna complain about the way some guys dress. I don't.
They
give a
might. Well, see,
not in a sexual harassment way. If you came to a fucking office setting in it like a G-string,
yeah,
I wouldn't think that was sexual harassment. I think it's fucking stupid.
Unprofessional. See,
Right.
that's the problem.
But there's no sexual
That's
harassment.
the problem
in
he just threw
unprofessional.
in here. Oh, women dress in women do not dress in a sexually provocative way in a professional setting. I work in a professional setting. I work with women. They don't dress that way there because that's a professional setting, and everyone is expected to dress professionally, men and women, because it's professional.
Right.
It has nothing to do with sex. You don't go to work for sex unless you're a sex worker. Then I suppose you do. But other than that, you don't. And women don't dress professionally. And if they did dress provocatively in a professional setting, someone would speak to them. Someone would say that's not really appropriate for this environment. And if a man did
yeah, it was done when I was an intern. Yeah.
right. Somebody said, "Hey, that's
that's a
not
little
right."
too nightclubby for professional. Yeah.
Which is fine. Nobody's saying you can't wear that or you're not allowed to wear that, but not here. This is not the right environment. And since we're paying you to be here, that's reasonable. So women don't generally dress sexy at the office, especially because they want to be taken seriously at the office.
Right.
And man or woman, somebody comes dressed like that, I take them less seriously. They're not dressing professionally. You're right. It's not about sex. It's about unprofessionalism.
Right.
So that's why he gets off the rails. I mean, he's honestly talking about girls walking down the street and then applying it to a professional setting to make his point stronger.
But it doesn't
But
work.
it's all bullshit. But
Yeah.
let's let it go some more.
And some would try to make sexual assault claims in the culture that we're living in today. So the point being, and the science claims that women are not nearly as visually stimulated as men as a whole. I know there are exceptions, etc. But so when you reverse it and it's sexual assault, why wouldn't it be sexual assault by the way you're describing it?
Well, especially when
Because it's not.
Because he's describing it as somebody's fucking imagination.
And because what he described wasn't sexual assault anyway. If a man walks through the office in a fucking, sock hammock thing that Magic Mike guy wears or whatever. Hopefully, first, I hope he can pull it off. I don't think I could, but I hope he can. Second, that's not sexual assault on anybody. Might be harassment, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it's definitely fucking unprofessional.
Yeah, I think they need to.
But it's not assault because you have to actually touch or threaten to touch somebody for it to be assault.
Right.
Okay. And there's a specific definition of sexual assault, like a legal definition. And honestly, we overuse the term.
Yeah.
We overuse the term because sometimes what we call sexual assault doesn't meet the definition of sexual assault. Like just because somebody touched you, even if it's wrong, it's not necessarily sexual assault according to the legal definition. I'm not saying it's not fucking wrong. But so anyway, so what he's talking about clearly is not.
On that note,
I
just want to say sexual assault is any type of sexual contact or behavior that occurs without the explicit consent of the recipient. Falling under the definition of sexual assault are sexual activities as forced sexual intercourse, forcible sodomy, child molestation, incest, fondling, and attempted rape.
Right.
Legal definition.
Where'd you get that from?
I Googled.
Which law is that?
But it's the Department of Justice.
Okay, from the DOJ. Okay, yeah, and usually these are prosecuted at the state level. And I looked this up once for a totally unrelated reason. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, there has to be some type of penetration for it to qualify as sexual assault. I mean, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
I'm on the fucking show. It doesn't have to be your dick.
Right.
It could be a finger.
Right.
But there has to be some type, and it doesn't have to be in the vagina. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
But, so like I'm saying, and we don't always use the legal definition in common parlance. I mean, if you do something to somebody and they consider it assault, fuck you, it's assault. But what this guy's talking about, this dude just walking around,
It's so
isn't
definitely
assault.
not assault.
And nobody would call it that. And if a hot girl walked through a fucking office in a bikini, nobody's going to call that sexual assault except these guys.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
You consider the science all of it.
Exactly.
It's involuntary. It's involuntary. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's assault.
Now, let me say this.
Chemical assault.
Yeah.
It's chemical assault.
We're going to take a break and we'll explain this in much more detail, but let me just go ahead and say you
please
and I are
don't.
not
Yeah.
taking away any of the responsibility that every man has.
Yeah, and they do, to their credit, and I'm not going to play the rest of the clip, they do, to their credit, say that men have a responsibility to not act on this. But it's this involuntary thing, and men are like overstimulated by these women dressed scantily. And what religion was I talking about? That is the exact argument Islam uses for the burqa.
Yes.
That's why women have to wear the burqa in Islam. It's not because women need to be covered up.
It's
It's
because
because men can't fucking handle looking at them. That's it. That's really why they're supposed to wear the burqa. That's the argument that Islam uses. And here's these two fucking right-wing Christian guys making the exact same argument. And I wish they were listening right now, because I'd say, oh, so Muslim, are we? Because that would just piss them off to no end.
Yeah. Oh, I want to point out that Alan is in the YouTube chat room.
Sweet. Hello, Alan.
I got them both up now.
Yeah, I know. We're on both. We're on Facebook and
Yes,
YouTube right now.
But I did it. I successfully
I am
put
so
both-
proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You're so awesome.
I wanted some credit.
Anyway, so that's the whole bullshit with
Sexual assault and Muslims.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
What else you got?
Oh,
I
I
need
got-
another beer.
well, we can take a beer break in a few seconds. Let's do one more and then do a beer swap.
All right.
This is Pastor Jeffress. This is from Right Wing Watch. And this is about morality and Weinstein, which is kind of on our sexual assault theme here.
Like Harvey?
Harvey. Yeah, he talks about Harvey.
Harvey's an idiot.
Wait, is he?
Yes.
Our founders were clear. In the First Amendment, they said Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion. Our forefathers came from a country where there was a state church and people were coerced to worship in churches they didn't want to be in. That was wrong. Our forefathers said, we want no part of that.
And here's the but. I don't think he actually says but you know how it's like when somebody makes a long statement and then they go but
and
you can
everything
forget
before
everything they
that?
just said.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
And you and I don't want any part of that. But the First Amendment
You said
absolutely
but.
has
was a
nothing to
but.
say about nativity scenes or prayers at graduations or Ten Commandment displays. It has absolutely nothing to say about that.
Now, doesn't it?
It actually does.
Doesn't it? Because you just said they came from a place where they were forced to worship in a way they didn't want to. Yet, if I want to go to my kid's high school graduation, I need to be forced to worship in the way you want it.
And he said,
I'll tell you what.
the government shall make no laws, and those establishments that he was discussing are part of the government.
Because it establishes a religion. Because hello, Christianity is the acceptable religion at the high school graduation.
right.
The Ten Commandment monument at the courthouse means that Judeo-Christian stuff is what's acceptable here.
It's just it's another example
Wait.
of that. If they started doling out like an Islamic prayer at fucking football game or something.
Oh, they wouldn't, because here we go.
Our country was founded as a Christian nation. And although we allow and welcome people of all faiths or no faiths, this country.
He allows and welcomes us.
Yeah.
Thank you for fucking allowing me, Pastor Jeffries. And you can take that wonderful welcome and your permission for me to be here, and you can roll it up and stick it as far up your anal cavity as you can get it. And when you get to that point, you know what point I'm talking about, Jeffries. You know what I'm talking about. When you get to that point where it just kind of sticks a little bit and you feel like you can't go any further, I want you to slam it up just a little more. That's so what I want you to do with your fucking welcome. No, I'm an American citizen. I served my country for 20 years. My father served. His father served. His fucking father served. Don't tell me I have your permission to be here because you love Jesus. Kiss my ass. And, oh, we were founded as a Christian nation. Well, that's wonderful. It's not true. It's complete bullshit. But even if it was true, why would I give a fuck that we were founded as a Christian nation? We were founded as a nation where only white guys with property could vote. We changed it. In fact, we were founded as 13 British colonies. We didn't like that, so we fucking changed it. You could own people.
We didn't like
We were
that,
founded as a
so
nation
we
where you
changed
could
it.
own people. We didn't like that, so we changed it. We decided that, you know, women were people and they could vote too. So we changed that. So, see, the thing is, the way we were founded was a good start in a lot of ways. I mean, there was a good framework there, but some of the stuff was still fucked up. So we fixed it. So I don't care if we're founded as a Christian nation. I really don't.
You know what? And if you think about it, it's
So
the
I'm going
same
to say to
way.
my friends, let's stop arguing with these Christians that we were founded as a Christian nation. Look them right in the eye and go, I don't care.
Right?
I really don't care. We were founded as a slaveholding nation. So what? We changed it. When we're wrong about something, we fucking change it.
Right.
Christianity is fucking wrong and not true. So we should change it. That'll throw them right off. Because they'll have all these arguments about with fake quotes from Jefferson ready and all this stuff, and they can't use them now because you just said I don't care.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's let him go some more. He's going to talk more about how we're a Christian nation.
Was founded as a Christian nation. But let me tell you what happened. About 50 years ago, starting in 1962, the secularists, the infidels in our country said, let's
That's us.
try an
Yeah,
experiment.
I know.
We're going to see if America can be good without God. That is, instead of abiding by the moral absolutes found in God's word, we'll just let everybody form their own morality. And furthermore, we won't judge anybody else's morality.
That sounds awesome.
That is awesome.
Can we do that?
But let's
please?
caveat that. Nobody is suggesting that it's outside the rule of law,
Right.
right? Wait, he's going to go on into... I want you to hear this next part.
Everybody is free to decide what's right or wrong for himself.
Very good.
You know, the left lately has been all in a dither about Harvey Weinstein. It took them a while to get there, didn't it, Sean? But they finally got there.
What does he mean it took him a while? It took the left a while to get mad about Harvey Weinstein. Dude, I follow a lot of left-wing sites and left-wing people. And let me tell you something. Most of the people I know, as soon as the stuff about Weinstein came out, were up in fucking arms. The same way we were about your Catholic priest and your Protestant preachers when they fuck kids and they fuck people in their congregation. You know why? Because it's not good for anybody to do.
Maybe that's not what he means.
No, that's what he said. It took them a while to get there.
But-
like they were
Maybe he means because it wasn't out.
we weren't mad because we didn't know about it.
Right.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you say it took them a while? We didn't know.
Because the ladies.
It had been out. But yeah, and I love the way the right is dancing about this Harvey Weinstein stuff. Like, see? And that's what he's doing now. He's going, it's because you don't follow God's morality. How many preachers? How many priests? How many Christians
Right.
do we find out do this shit? And every time we come down on them. Every time we go, fuck you. And when Bill Cosby does it, we go, fuck you. And when Harvey Weinstein does it, we go, fuck you. We're the consistent ones, you pompous ass. We're the consistent ones. We're the ones who say this is not okay no matter who does it. If it's somebody who's allied with our cause, it's not okay. It doesn't make it okay because they're a man of God. It doesn't make it okay because they're Jimmy fucking Swagger.
Right.
Where they started slamming Harvey Weinstein and the terrible case of sexual assault that he and others in Hollywood are guilty of. But now just think about this. Who's to say, according to their thinking, that Harvey Weinstein is wrong?
Me.
Yeah.
Me, you dumbass. Here's where Christians go off on their dumbass. Well, if everybody gets to make up their own morality, then you can't say anybody is wrong. Didn't you just say everybody gets to make up their own morality? Which means I get to make up mine, which means I can say people are fucking wrong.
Right.
So you've defeated your own argument in your statement, and no one ever suggested that you should be able to do things to other people without their consent.
Right.
That's the thing. You know who says it's fucking wrong? His victims.
Right.
His victims say, hey, this is my body and I don't want this done to me. Oh, we're going to get more on this.
Who's to say that it's wrong to sexually assault somebody? Maybe Harvey Weinstein was just following his own morality that he developed for himself.
Maybe he was just following his
What I'm
God.
saying to you is,
Like Christians do.
Right.
Right? Because there is no Christian morality. It doesn't exist. Okay? There is, it's funny, and we've talked about this before on the show, but have you noticed, Susie, how everybody who believes in God, everything that God thinks agrees exactly with them?
Right.
Like, exactly. Their morality and God's morality are just like lockstep down the fucking street. Yeah, they do things that they think are wrong, and they feel bad about them, and that God doesn't like. That's true, but whatever they think is right is what God thinks is right. Whatever they think is wrong is what God thinks is wrong.
Right.
Everybody, even when they disagree. What is that then?
Harvey Weinstein is no anomaly. He's no accident. He is the natural result of a country that has untethered itself from the absolute truths of God's word.
If
Like
that's
the priests, right?
Yeah, I was saying, if that's true, explain Catholic priests. Explain that scandal. Right? You can't. I got more for you. And this is kind of on the same thing, but this kind of relates to Las Vegas shooting.
Hey, wait, you said I could go get a beer.
Yes, go refresh our brews, will you?
You
And I
entertain-
will sit here and talk to the audience
You entertain
just
the
for
audience.
a little bit,
So I can go get a beer.
because we're going to do one more clip. Then I'm going to let you guys have the Bible, and I'm probably going to eat a little bit of my fucking dinner because I haven't eaten. It's empty.
I was taking it for you.
Thank you. So let me just address the chat room, huh? Lou says it's a good thing they have confession. Hey, Lou. Ben says folks in Hollywood did know. Guessing Hollywood is lefty, and it is. No, Ben is absolutely correct. I want to, because it actually reminded me. It's kind of parallel in my mind to what happened in the Catholic Church, right? Everybody knew it was going on, but they just kind of looked the other way. It's the same fucking thing. It's an organizational systemic corruption. Because if somebody, because the one lady said she was sleeping, right? Sleeping on a boat. She's crashed out. She wakes up. Harvey Weinstein is right next to her with his dick out, masturbating. Right? And she went and told people about it, and they kind of just went, oh, that's just Harvey. No, that's not okay. That's not just Harvey. You could have just asked me for this.
I didn't want you to have to pass it over.
Because I'm talking to myself here. No, I'm talking to these guys.
We're talking to them guys. We have listeners.
Yeah, we got a few. We got a couple.
Look, we're doing Not Your Father's. It's time.
Yeah, she's got not your father's apple pie, or not your mother's apple pie.
Not your mother's.
Because apparently men can't make pies.
Not your mom's apple pie.
Yeah, because men don't make pies. Apparently.
Not in the 50s.
That's true.
This is like from the 50s.
I make pies. Anyway, here, I want you to hear this next clip. Put your headphones on.
Doing it right now. That's going to be bad. All right, go.
This is a new campaign that we've seen, a new video.
Oh, by the way, I should say who this is, huh?
New.
This is Raheen Kassam. He's an editor at Breitbart.
Oh.
Featuring actresses Emma Stone, Melissa McCarthy, singer Sheryl Crow, a number of other celebrities, urging Americans to reject the NRA. This using the Vegas attack, using that awful attack as a jumping off point for their political talking points, despite the fact, John, that no extra gun control measures would have necessarily stopped this attack, given that the weapons, as much as we know, by the way, and that's a whole issue for another day, by the way, the lack of information coming out of Vegas.
Okay, can we got to address that first. No extra gun control measures would have stopped the Vegas attack. That is a lie.
How about if they can't sell AK-47s to like 10-year-olds?
Here's the thing. When you take a statement like that, okay, no extra gun control measures. You can make the argument to the absurd. So let me make this, and I'm going to say right now, this is an absurd argument. I'm being absurd. I don't advocate this, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But you could have a gun control measure where the government took every gun from every citizen and sent the military house to house and removed every gun. That would be a gun control measure.
Right.
If they had done that and taken all this guy's guns, it would have, in fact, prevented the Las Vegas attack.
Right. So you can't say that.
So you can't say that no measure would have done it. And basically what he said was, well, he complied with all the gun control measures, so no other gun control measure would have worked. No, that doesn't work. And I'm not advocating that extreme crazy position. What I'm saying is maybe, there might be some in the middle. Like, I don't know, you can't have more than 100 rounds on you at any time. Maybe you can have it stored in your house if it's more than that. But on your person, you cannot have more than 100 rounds. That would have prevented the Vegas attack. He shot 600 people. He's not that good a shot. He would not have got 600 people if he only had 100 rounds. Just saying.
True.
That's one thing that might have prevented it.
All right.
So anyway, now they're going to talk about sexual assault with relation to gun control.
But for all we know, the attacker complied with all levels of gun controls, background checks, so on and so forth. What this really is a move to do is I just can't believe it, against a backdrop of truly deeply disturbing sexual aggression. Harassment is a mild way of putting it. This is sexual aggression aimed at vulnerable, often very vulnerable young women, people who would have been referred to as girls just a couple of years before these stuff had happened to them. Disarm them, right? This is what this is the narrative these guys are pushing right now. And
now this is the narrative he's pushing.
Right.
If they'd only had a gun, Harvey Weinstein wouldn't have assaulted them.
Yeah.
No. Because you know what? Most actresses don't take guns to the set, you fucking dumbass. In fact, only 42% of American households have a gun at all. You shouldn't be required to be armed in order to not be sexually assaulted. Crazy idea, I know, right? Like, you shouldn't have to be armed. You should just not be sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Hey. And second, sexual assaults tend to, and not always, but tend to take place in places where you wouldn't be fucking armed anyway, even if you owned guns.
Jogging.
One of the ones I read on the Me Too, I'm just going to say, this was a politician in our area that she put out her Me Too story. And it was in a consult with a professor at law school. Yeah, you don't usually take a gun to those. Nightclubs,
that's what all the
parties where there's alcohol, probably not a good place to have a gun. And what is this guy saying? That if that woman had woke up on the couch and Harvey Weinstein was masturbating, if she'd only had a gun.
She could have shot him.
What? Shot him in the dick? Look, he's a dick. He's an asshole. He deserves whatever's coming to him. But does he deserve to die for jerking off in front of somebody? It's a crime. He committed a crime.
Right.
But crimes have penalties, and they're not always death.
Right.
And how would her having a gun have prevented that assault? It wouldn't.
Nope.
I mean, presumably she told him, get the fuck out of here, and he did. And then she went and told other people. But I wouldn't have prevented it. It already happened. I just don't see this whole, you're disarming them. No, guns are not the solution to sexual assault. I don't buy that.
If sexual assault, then gun.
Yeah, gun. All right, we're going to take our dinner break here.
Our dinner break.
Your Bible, our dinner. I know, everybody's going to leave. They all leave when we do the Bible, and then they listen to the rest of it tomorrow, which is fine. But we're going to play the Bible, and
because we leave too.
Yeah, because it also gives us a chance to go to the bathroom, and I can eat some food. And then we'll be back in about 15 minutes.
I have to tell you, not your mom's apple pie is way too sweet.
Oh, I'm loving this. Not your father's vanilla cream. Oh, love it. I fucking love it. Give me a case of it.
Wow.
Anyway, so here's the Bible.
Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Sorry, kids. I don't believe in fairy tales.
Okay, chapter 32 is just fucking weird again.
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, but it was weird.
I know.
Okay, we start out at some point, we're in Judah, and the army of Babylon is besieging Jerusalem.
Right.
Okay, the army of Babylon is besieging Jerusalem, but Jeremiah is confined in the courtyard of Judah. And Zedekiah says, why do you prophesy against me and say that Nebuchadnezzar is going to fuck me up and take me away? Why do you keep saying that? And then Jeremiah starts talking about a field he once bought.
Because this is why.
Because God told him to buy a field. Well, God told me to buy a field.
And
then I bought the field.
And then I bought the field.
Is this guy fucking Rain Man? What the hell? The field has nothing to do with it. And it's really weird because then we go through the details of him buying this field from his cousin.
Right.
And then in their presence, I gave Baruch these instructions. I'm in 13. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Take these documents, both sealed and unsealed copies of the deed of purchase, and put them in a clay jar so they will last a long time. Really? This is what God is saying. God said to put the documents in the clay jar.
The Almighty says a clay jar it's important.
What the fuck? Who gives a shit?
I know.
Why is this deity trifling with where they put the documents of purchase?
Because it's important. He wants them to last a long time.
For this particular field.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
And then he says, after I bought the field, then I prayed to God. And this is what I prayed. Now he's going into his damn prayer. And then verses 18, 19, this is hilarious because he contradicts himself between these two verses.
Yep.
You show your loves to thousands, but bring punishment for the parents' sins onto the laps of their children after them. Great and mighty God, whose name is the Lord Almighty, great are your purposes and mighty are your deeds. Your eyes are open to the ways of all mankind. You reward each person according to their conduct and as their deeds deserve.
But
what?
I just said that you
said that
punish people because of their
parents.
What their parents did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I'm really like, This one was hard.
It was a rough chapter. It was, and it seemed to
And then he starts talking about Egypt,
jump
and
around a lot.
giving
yeah.
them the praise. And then suddenly in verse 24, we're talking about the siege ramps.
Right.
See how the siege ramps are built to take the city. Of course, he's in Judah, not in Jerusalem. We've already established that. So I don't think they can see the siege ramps from there. But the Babylonians are attacking. What you said has happened, as you now see. And although the city will be given in the hands of Babylonians, you, sovereign Lord, said to me,
By the field.
by the field
with silver.
with silver. Right.
And have the transaction witnessed. Cool. Makes sense,
This is
right?
like, it's like God, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
But wait. His
It's like a televangelist saying God wants me to have.
But wait, his answer for this was, I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me?
Then why does he need to buy the field with silver? What the hell? Why don't you just poof it? Poof, it's this now Jeremiah's field. But no, it has to be witnessed. Otherwise, it's not real.
Right.
Because apparently God can't do it without it being witnessed and the documents being put in a fucking clay jar,
In a
which
clay
has
jar.
nothing to do with what Zedekiah or Zeddy, who was it, Zedekiah, who asked Jeremiah, who's being imprisoned in the courtyard. What? It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Right. And apparently, from the day the city was built, it so aroused his anger. I'm in verse 31. Yeah, 31. It so aroused his anger, he has to remove it from his sight.
Does that mean he's going to blow it up?
Apparently not. No, it doesn't mean that. And verse 33, we get this guy's, they turn their backs to me and not their faces.
Not their faces.
Obviously. Though I taught them again and again, they would not listen or respond to discipline. Then you're doing it wrong. If everybody has a problem with you, the problem may well be you. Just saying.
In verse 38, he says, they'll be my people, I'll be their God. I'll give them singleness of heart and action so that they will always fear me. And
Right.
all the things go well for them and their children. So fear is an important parenting
It's
tactic.
crazy. And I had verse 40. I said, I will make an everlasting covenant with them. I will never stop doing good to them, and I will inspire them to fear me so they will never turn away from. How can you always do good to somebody and
Make
have them
them
be
fear you.
afraid?
And if you have to rule with fear, there's not much, that's not much of a ruler.
You suck. That was chapter 32. 33 is going to be awesome, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure.
all going to turn around.
Right.
Right. That was book 33 of Jeremiah, chapter 33 of Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah. And Susie, did you notice in verse 2, and worth noting, we're coming back to this after a long break, but this is what the Lord says, he who made the earth, the Lord who formed it and established it. Why does this dude still have to introduce himself?
Because we haven't figured out who he is yet.
After, it's like he comes up to Jeremiah and it's like, oh, it's me. Hey, I'm the Lord. You know, the Lord who made the earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who formed it.
By the way, it's me.
Oh, that Lord. Oh, I thought you were that other Lord. What
Yeah,
the
the one that made the earth.
Yeah,
That one.
that one. I thought you were the one who made those cookies last week. What the hell? I don't get it. And then, he goes around, he starts talking about Judah and Israel and the houses in the city. And did you read that part?
I did. And he talked about how he was going to fill the houses with that. It's in verse 5. He says, they'll be filled with the dead bodies of people I will slay in my anger and wrath. And I was going, why is this guy always so mad? And he's so mean, like he's going to do all this bad stuff to these people. He's going to kill them. And then he turns around in verse 6. Nevertheless, I'll bring health and healing to it. I will heal my people.
Right,
Really?
I know. It's like, and can we just note for a second, how many bodies does it take to fill a house?
A house.
That's a lot of
Right?
fucking bodies. Like, because you and I and Barbara live in this house.
Right.
So it's not just us. I mean, our bodies wouldn't fill the house. They're going to have to get a lot of other people to fill the house. That's a lot of freaking bodies. And why would you fill a house with bodies? Who would do that? Who does that shit?
Jesus.
Apparently.
The Lord. You know who he is.
Oh, you mean the one who made the earth?
Yeah, that one.
That Lord? Okay. I just wasn't sure which Lord you were talking about. Yeah, and then he's gonna heal it all. Except I think the dead ones.
In verse 9, he addresses his narcissistic side.
Oh God, it's like Donald Trump talking to me, right? Oh, this city's gonna praise me and
praise and honor before all
me,
nations.
and it's gonna be all good things, and you're gonna be so sick of winning. You're going to be so sick of it. You're just going to be sick. The Israel's going to be sick of winning. It's going to be fantastic. They're going to love it.
Honor before all nations on earth that hear of all the good things I do for it. Really?
And then they're going to be parading, and I'm down at like verse 11. The sounds of joy and gladness are going to be everywhere, and voices of brides and bridegrooms. And so people are now getting married and singing, and for the Lord is good, his love endures forever, except when he's filling fucking houses with dead bodies.
Right.
Okay, that's not love. That's being a douche. Like on a cosmic scale for, the guy who made the earth.
Maybe that's what he does for fun. Maybe he just fucks things up and then fixes them so he can feel better about himself.
Right, and then in verse 12, this is what the Lord Almighty said, in case you forgot who he is. In this place, desolate and without people or animals. What the fuck? The animals? What did the animals do? Why is he killing the fucking animals too? It's like, oh yeah, sorry, dude. You know what? You're gonna kill my dog because you don't like me? That is a super douche move.
Yeah, but he always says, oh well, in this place that I made this fucked up, I'm gonna make it better
by killing everybody. Yeah, that works. That is like Donald Trump.
So, like in verse 15, he's going to make a righteous a branch sprout from David's line. I was like, why doesn't he just say, I'm going to make a good heir or something?
He's going to make a Jesus.
Right?
That's what it's. Well, I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I don't know if the author of Jeremiah was talking about that, but that's kind of what they say this is about. Because you remember, David's line had to come from David's line.
Yeah.
So that's why. So this is kind of a Messiah prediction, I suppose. I'm sure a lot of people would tell you it is. I think somebody went back here and read this and said, "Ooh, yeah, that could be Jesus."
Right.
You know the guy who died 2 months ago? Yeah, it could be him.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, it's kind of like an after-the-fact prediction, I think. And we're going to see...
But he says this is the name by which it will be called, the Lord, our righteous Savior. Well, isn't the dude they're talking to right now the Lord?
Yeah, now we're getting into some serious Trinity bullshit.
Right?
Wait, but he's the Lord, our righteous Savior, as opposed to the Lord who made the earth. Maybe that's why he's got to put all that bullshit on the end.
Right, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody's a Lord.
And then in 17, David will never fail to have a man sit on the throne of Israel. There's no king of Israel right now.
Right.
I mean, we can't even debate whether or not he's from David's line because they don't have a fucking king at all.
That's true.
There's no king.
That's true.
So who's sitting on the throne of... Yep, it's not happening. Sorry. And then let's see. Oh, yeah. This is what he says. I'm going to break this deal with Israel if you break my deal with day and night to come at their appointed time. Verse 20. Okay. Yeah. You decided the time.
So if you change the laws of physics,
it doesn't have anything to do with the rotation of the earth. And, do you know we can predict that now? We can predict the time of day and night. We can even predict when there's going to be eclipses decades in advance.
Right?
Nothing, it just happens. We can watch the system just go. It's not like a thing. It's not like he made an agreement. That's what he's saying. He made an agreement with day to show up at this time, and he made an agreement with night to show up at this time. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It's just weird.
Well, because that's part of his narcissistic side. Because he did that,
And he's going to make the descendants of David and the Levites as countless as the stars in the sky and as measureless as the sands on the seashore.
Wow.
One, that hasn't happened. because we still can count them. And two, I'm not sure that many people would be a good thing.
That's true.
Yeah, because the overpopulation issue, which apparently the Bible didn't get the word on.
Oh, and crossbreeding.
No, you can't have that. You can't have that. So, yeah, he goes on in verse 25. He's still talking about his covenant with day and night, whatever the hell that means.
I've lost interest right when he started talking about the day and night thing.
Yep. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 33. Susan and I are back recording the Bible again. Yay!
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
I hope you enjoyed it more, really. I gotta say, listening to that Bible segment was a weird experience for me.
Why?
Well, because we recorded chapter 32 months ago.
Months.
Because what we do is we sit down and record like 20 chapters at a time. So it's like been since I started in the 20s, since you guys heard of the 20s, that's when we recorded chapter 32. And we recorded chapter 33 minutes ago. Like literally minutes before the show. So it was weird. And it still flowed because it's the same bullshit. Right. It's like we didn't have to go back and check our notes. It's just crap. It was awesome. Anyways. So, see you, Ben. Peace out. Anyway, we're going to do a couple more clips, and then we'll close things down. And, we're going to talk about statistics and shit, because I've had some things on Facebook. Maybe we should do that first.
We should do that, because it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
we don't want to be one of those 3-hour drag-on shows.
No. Actually, it's funny, because Saturday night, they were like, pull a Smalley, go 4 hours. I'm like, no. You don't want to listen to me for 4 hours. But anyway,
I don't want to listen to you for 4 hours.
Let's do the counter intro anyway. One, because it's kind of a counter. And two, because I just like that intro. It's fucking awesome.
It is.
Because you have to know everything or have revelation from somebody does to know anything.
But it's the moment the skeptic, that free-thinking, agnostic, atheist, whatever, begins to challenge the God of the Bible.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare. Everybody believes in God, but some have decided to suppress that truth.
Bill, I just want to let you know that there actually is a book out there that actually tells us where matter came from.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you?
Welcome to the bar room. I'm Bill here with my co-host Susie. When he does this, he's equivocating.
What we're talking about in a laboratory, there is no other side of the coin.
Right. You're trying to get to the truth.
Right.
Well, facts fucking matter.
In some states, not in Oklahoma.
What they're doing is they're straw manning natural selection. So back the fuck off before I shove a Nimbus 2000 up your ass and ride you all the way back to Azkaban.
Okay, this is not a traditional counter-apologetic. It is an attack on ignorance, though. And I don't say ignorance in a bad way.
Yes,
why do people get upset when I say that's ignorant? Ignorant doesn't mean a bad thing. If I call your argument ignorant, it's because it is. It's because it's something you don't know. You don't understand what you're saying. There's some things you don't know.
There are better words you could use.
No, there's really
ignorant.
not. That is the appropriate word.
It's the mean one.
And I am willing, if people say I am ignorant about something, I am willing to stand up and say, you're right. And then I get educated about it, and then I am no longer ignorant about it. Ignorant is not a bad fucking word. It's not an insult. And especially if I call your argument ignorant, I have not insulted you. If you are so sensitive that I called what you said ignorant, and that's an insult to you, that's your issue, not mine. I'm sorry, but it's not my issue.
Well, you could just use nicer words.
Like what?
Uninformed.
Nope. It's not. It's ignorant. That doesn't quite fit. That's sort of close. Uninformed means I haven't heard about it. But when it's just you don't know shit about what you're talking about, that's just ignorance. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. Let's get to the thing.
When you call somebody and it's not necessarily the word you use. You can call somebody ignorant to a situation. But when you're heated argument and it takes on a different meaning.
Normally,
that's just ignorant.
No. I don't usually say you're ignorant.
I
say
changed
that is
it. I
ignorant.
said that's just ignorant.
Which is different. And that may be ignorant. So, I'm just saying. Lighten up is what I'm saying. It's okay to be ignorant about. I'm ignorant about so many things. You
get upset when people call you ignorant.
There are libraries filled with things I'm ignorant about. If I'm actually ignorant about the thing, then yes, I do not get upset. Absolutely not.
Well, how about this? How about you are and just think that you're not?
What? Upset?
Ignorant.
That's true. That happens.
That's when people get mad.
Yeah.
That's when they get angry. When you tell them they're ignorant and they don't think that they are.
And I want to get to some things, and I want to get to this issue here, and I'm going to relate to you some online and in-person interactions I've had lately. Let's establish here that there are some things on which we cannot agree to disagree. It's not because we can agree to disagree on an opinion, not a fact. Let's say Susie and I are having a debate right here, and my position is the earth is flat, and her position is the earth is round. We can't agree to disagree on that. The fact is, she's right and I'm fucking wrong. There are some things where one person is actually right and one person is actually wrong. Now, if we were talking about tax code, and should the upper rate be lowered, usually opinion things are ought we do these things, then we could agree to disagree.
Right.
Sure, because we have a different opinion about that. But the earth is still fucking round. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter if that's my opinion and that's how I feel.
And God doesn't exist.
Right? Although we can't prove that. That's the thing. We can't prove that. So you could agree to disagree on that because you can't prove it. But the earth's fucking round. Has been proven like hundreds of times. Like we got pictures. We actually got pictures of it. Okay. People have gone around it. You can't go around a flat earth. It's not fucking flat. Shut up. That's the kind of thing that really gets my goat. And Bobby Carey knows this, which is why Bobby and I got into it in the car when we were talking about, the conversation came up. He claimed that mass shooters tend to be white, or that white people have a tendency to do that. That's a white trait.
Serial killers.
Yeah, well,
not mass shooters.
No, it started with mass shooters because it was just after Vegas. And I said it's the same thing with serial killers. That's how serial killers got into it. But basically, because what I said when we were talking, and I said, yes, killing is a man trait. Men tend to be killers more than women. 96% of serial killers are men. Okay? That's a pretty easy thing to see. Men have a tendency to do shit like that. Women, not so much. And then he said, yeah, and white. Because white people have a tendency. I'm like, no, they don't. Absolutely not. The data shows, both in the U.S. and worldwide, that serial killers appear in about their proportion of the population. The two most prolific serial killers in history are Chinese. And they're in China. Go figure.
But you see what you just said, though. You said in the world and in the United States.
And in the United States as well.
Bobby was talking about the United States.
Bobby was talking about the United States. And Bobby was saying...
That's not...
No. Let me finish. Let me finish. Because you're gonna divert this and you're going to defend Bobby and he's wrong. So listen to what I say, then decide if I'm wrong.
Because you're right.
You don't know because I haven't finished my statement. So what he said was he's only talking about the United States. And because more of them are white people tend to be serial killers in the United States. And he's still wrong.
So I don't understand. The FBI is
what?
wrong too.
No, the FBI says, and you can look this up. Now, you don't. Let's not get this confused with Criminal Minds. You can look it up.
I'm doing it right now, as you say.
Most of them are white.
Say it.
Most are white. But serial killers tend to appear in their proportion to the population. In other words, 62% of the population is white. So you can figure about 62% of the serial killers are going to be white overall. Now, that doesn't always break down exactly because you're talking small sample versus large sample, but roughly it comes out pretty close to proportional. And one of the points I made with Bobby was, Bobby, what about black people being shot by police? You say it's more likely that black people get shot than white people. He said, yeah. I said, but does it surprise you that more white people get shot by police than black people? He said, yeah, that would surprise me. Well, it's true.
Because there are more white people.
Because there are more white people. So I have been arguing, and a friend of mine have been arguing with someone for days, like on and off, on Facebook, because her position was, and I'm not going to name her because I'm not trying to call anybody out because this is indicative of a larger problem. I'm not picking on this one person. But her position was, I was bringing in a red herring. Population data is irrelevant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
To whether someone has more of a likelihood of something happening to them. See, and this is almost a direct quote. More white people are shot. So if I wanted to fix the problem, this is not me. This is this person saying this. And I had to focus by race. I would focus on white people first. Then I would solve half the problem because half the people that are shot are white. She was using 2016 numbers. And about a quarter of the people are black. Then I would move to them. And I said, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Because she said, because white people are affected more by it because more of them are killed. This is why this shit matters. When I say something like this, when I'm talking about, you can't read it that way. You can't. And why I was passionately arguing with Bobby. Because now she's making the same case. Is it okay? She's making the same case Bobby was. There's no difference between her argument and Bobby's. Because remember when he went to me, he says, well, bottom line, are more of them white in the U.S.? Yes. Okay. See, that's what Bobby went to, right? Now, bottom line, are more police shooting victims white in the U.S.? Yes. So are we going to say that white people have more of a tendency to get shot? No. This is why it matters, because other people will take this shit and just twist it. And this person twisted it. I did call her argument ignorant. I did. I said, this might be ignorance you can't fix, to my friend. But let's be honest. In this case, ignorance was a charitable word. A charitable word. Because if you're using those numbers to say white people are more affected by police shootings, if you are ignorant of how to calculate them, is the nicest thing I can say about you. What's the other option? If you're not ignorant about how to calculate them and you're purposely misleading, what do we call that? I mean, I didn't want to accuse her of being racist or anything. And I know a lot of people would have jumped right to that. But no, I think she's just uninformed on how to calculate. See, there I did use uninformed.
Isn't that nice?
But yeah, so I mean, honestly, by calling her statements ignorant, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, now you have to make me understand this, because I'm not going to argue that you're wrong because I don't know, but I don't understand. There is a survey, let me tell you where it's from.
Well, look at the mic when you're talking, though.
I know. I was just looking at where it's from. Radford University FGCU serial killer database. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I did find out some really cool stuff, though, in my small 2 minutes of research. It says U.S. serial killers percentage by race and decade.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Shoot me the percentages by race.
In 1900.
Well, is it both? They're giving you both race and decade?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's kind of hard because we don't know what the percentages of the population were by decade.
It doesn't matter. 72% of whatever the population was
Okay.
was white.
So 72% of serial killers were white?
Right.
In 1900?
Yes.
Okay.
72%.
I would guess, I'm not sure. I don't have the 1900 population data in front of me, but I would guess that more than 72% of the population of the United States was white in 1900.
Oh, I kind of get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay, because check this out. Now, it's really...
Let's be honest here. Just because I'm saying that, I'm not saying that white people were better in 1900.
No, you're
than
helping
any
me
other race.
understand something. No, watch. In 2010, 59.8% of the serial killers in the United States
Were white.
were black.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's a little bit of an anomaly.
Not really.
No,
not according to this data, because the percentage of serial killers has slowly went down from white and up to black.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. 58% is huge.
Right?
Because they're only 16% of the population. I mean, is it consistently that way by year? Or is that year a blip? Because you could get...
Well, no, because in
When-
2000, they do it in 10-year increments.
Okay, but even when you're doing that, because serial killers tend to be such a small number of people,
Right?
you can skew that data. Just because you have an extra black guy one year, it can throw the data way off because you might have 4 serial killers that year. So, but the studies done by the FBI, and I did actually look this up because you're a serial killer junkie. Serial killers do not tend to be of any race. They emerge pretty much equal to the proportion of the population consistently over time. In other words, if 60% of your population is white, over time, 60% of your serial killers are going to end up being white. Now, and Bobby just started rattling off names at me.
I want to read.
And I want to throw out a logical fallacy here.
And stop throwing Bobby's name around.
I love Bobby. I love Bobby. He's my brother, and that's when I talk about him on the show. And he don't mind because it was a good conversation. And let me caveat this, folks. Bobby was also breaking Bill's balls because that's what Bobby and Bill do when we're together. We just needle each other that way. It's fun for us to debate that way. So, and you'll remember on his last show or the show before where he took a totally opposite position till the end of the show.
Right.
Well, Bobby and I do that. So, all right, folks, there's my Bobby disclaimer statement. But, yeah, he started rattling names. John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Green River Killer. Yeah, just throwing out names of white serial killers, names of black ones. Yeah, there we get a little racism and confirmation bias. We hear more about, and you know this from all your shows and all your research.
Well,
who do serial killers hunt racially? Who
White
are their
people.
victims? Who are serial killers' victims? They tend to be their own race.
Yeah.
So when a white person becomes a serial killer, white people start dying and disappearing. When a black person becomes a serial, and this isn't universal, but when a black person becomes a serial killer, black people start dying.
And your point?
We hear more about the white ones because
we don't hear about the black people dying
because their victims are white. Yes, that is true.
I want to read you this too from the same study. It's the title is A Problem with Typical Profile. It says, as can be seen in this table, the commonly cited profile of a serial killer in the U.S. being a white male in his mid to late 20s is not accurate. And then it says the characteristics in all the decades and then in all the years, and it goes through and it basically says what you said.
There is no. Well, okay. There is a typical profile. They're male. Overwhelmingly, they're male.
All right. So since I kind of understand now.
Okay.
Get to your.
That was my point with that argument. That
right.
Okay. And if you take raw numbers, though, white people well outclass them. And then we were talking about, with this other person, I was talking about black people being shot by police. And she said, well, look, twice as many white people have been shot. Therefore, white people are twice as likely to get shot. No. Let me do the room example. And I told her, I said, this is the way you figure it out. If you're in a room, you're on a game show, there's two groups of people. One has 100 people. One has 20 people. Not quite the ratio of black to white, but it'll do for our purposes. 10% of the group of 100 people are going to get $1 million, and they're going to win $1 million randomly.
That means 10 people.
10, which means 10 people. 25% of the group of 20 people are going to get $1 million, which means 5 people. Now, by her logic, you get in the group with 100 people because they're going to give away more $1 million.
Right.
But your odds of getting it aren't as good as if you go to the smaller group.
Right.
Because you're 1 in 4. Now, let's change that same scenario. 10 people in the group of 100 are going to get shot and killed. 5 people in the group of 20 are going to get shot and killed. Half as many people, but if you're staying that group, you got a 1 in 4 chance of getting shot.
Yeah.
So, which group do you go stand in? You go stand in the bigger group and hope they miss you. And that's how it is when we're talking about police shootings of black people. If for example, like your serial killer example, if the group of 20 had 2 people that were going to get shot or get the $1 million, whichever way you want to look at it, and the big group had 10, we would look at that and say there's no statistical difference there. Okay, but the problem is when you look at African Americans in this country and getting killed by police, it's 2.5 times more likely.
Sean.
And then there's Sean. It's
There's a
2.5 times more likely.
Find a chair.
This is why I was asking if you guys were recording.
Sit down.
That's so cool. Come on in.
Alexi as well.
Hey, everybody. This is Sean and Lexi. It's camera right there.
What do we hold on.
Your dad is talking about black people.
Well, we're actually about done with that conversation.
Huh? You should.
Yeah, there's beers in the fridge. And okay, the other problem, there's one out there too. The other problem with her logic, which isn't logic, and it's really funny because she even said, I'm as logical as a Vulcan. Well, no, you're not. Is that it leads to the natural conclusion that you have to conclude that based on her numbers, since there's more white people getting shot than black people, white people are more likely to get shot. Then if you calculate the people who are likely to be not shot, there's more white people that don't get shot than there are black people that don't get shot. Therefore, white people are more likely to be shot and are more likely to be not shot, which violates the law of contradiction, which is one of the 3 basic laws of logic. Don't call yourself logical if you're going to do that.
Right.
Boom. So that's the thing, and that's what came up on. So I wanted to tell
anybody
people
else's head spinning
that statistics matter, and
statistics suck.
Well, because here's the thing, though, you will get this argument from people when you're talking about Black Lives Matter. Okay, it's not that more black people are getting shot. That is not true. It's that black people are being shot disproportionately. It's important. That's why Black Lives Matter is a thing, because they're being shot more often than your average white person. They have a higher chance of getting shot, and that's a reason they have Black Lives Matter. So that's why it counts.
It's so good to see you, Sean.
So you want to do a couple clips?
Sure.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna do a quick audio switch over here.
Can you change the clips to?
Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the speaker.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna include some Sean.
Yeah, I figured.
You may get a little feedback on these clips, but we got some peoples here, so. And Sean may want to say something. There's a mic there.
There's a mic here too.
I'll unmute. Unmuted. I think that one.
This one?
Testing.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so I'm gonna play a clip. We're gonna do a couple because I do have a couple more clips that I wanted to get to, and we have about 10, 15 minutes till we gotta wrap this thing up. Sound clips. Okay.
He doesn't wrap anything up. Don't let him.
You know what happened? I changed my setting here, or I changed folder. Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, how about Gordon Klingenschmidt?
Klingenschmidt's funny. Okay, go.
What would you say to those Christians? And it would be hard to believe somebody would still say this in the year of our Lord 2017. Oh, Christians have no right to be in politics.
Well, I think that's foolish. The Constitution says the opposite. The Constitution says there shall be no religious litmus test for public office.
I find myself agreeing with Gordon Klingenschmidt here, and that makes me uncomfortable. It's like I'm on a long train ride somewhere, and you start to sweat, and the sweat kind of pools in your butt crack, and you're not sure if you went or you didn't go. You're not sure if there's not a little mess there, but you're stuck in the seat, and you can't really do anything about it, and it gets a little itchy, and you start to just kind of wiggle. That's how I'm feeling about agreeing with Gordon Klingenschmidt, just in case you guys were wondering about.
Thanks. I wanted that visual.
You were visualizing my butt crack? Wow, that's bad.
So if you're Muslim or Jewish, you have a right to run for office. But if you're Christian, I think you have an obligation to serve your country in some way. I think God's word, the Bible, commands us. And I remember when Jesus prayed in the Lord's Prayer, he said, "Thy kingdom come."
He remembers Jesus praying.
Right?
No, I remember the part of the Bible where Jesus prayed. He said, "I remember Jesus praying." You weren't there. Shut up.
Maybe
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Up in heaven, God already rules. But down here on earth, it's not always the case. There are some places where God's will is not done. We read about sin every day in the newspapers. Just look at what happened in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That was not the will of God. So we need to stand up for what is the will of God and bring his will.
Okay, guys. Vegas was not the will of God.
Thanks.
Apparently.
Thanks for telling me.
How can you tell? I mean, we're just reading the book of Jeremiah. Just
where he's talking
recently,
about
he's going to fill houses with dead
bodies, right?
And he's even going to kill the dogs and the kitty cats and the sheep and shit. But for some reason, God would never will a country music concert to get shot up. Maybe. Why? What is the litmus test for when something is God's will and when it isn't? I don't know. But here's the scary part at the end, and this is what we'll comment on.
Down here to earth, the same way it's already being done in heaven. And I think one way to do that is to get involved in politics. The church should become the state. The church should take over the government.
Whoops.
Really?
Whoops. Let that slip, didn't he? Yeah, the church should take over the government.
Wow.
So when they're talking about allowing us to be here,
right,
and not making, we don't want to make anybody worship a way they don't, but we want our church to be the government. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. That's the law of non-contradiction creeping up again. The church can't not be the government and be the government at the same time.
Right.
Right. That's called establishment of religion. And I think there are rules against that.
Don't they have states that are established religions, like countries and shit?
Yeah, there are a few. I can think of a couple, like Turkey.
And we're trying to be like not that way, right?
Turkey's one of the nicer ones with an established religion. There's Saudi Arabia, which recently let women start driving.
That's so nice.
Yeah. Not that they can be in the car by themselves, but they're allowed to drive. Because you can't be out without a male relative.
Right.
Yeah. So. But you could drive.
So crazy.
Fun fact about that is the first Saudi woman who went to drive actually crashed immediately.
That's a fun fact, Sean.
She was so excited.
She was so ecstatic about being able to drive that
She went to drive and put it in reverse and hit a wall.
Oops.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, it only took them. When was the automobile invented? 114 years ago, before they allow women equal driving rights. Maybe by 2217 they'll let women vote or something. Not that they vote in Saudi, so that's kind of a misnomer. They don't vote, but maybe they will.
No, they have a king.
Yes, they have a king and a royal family. Yeah.
And one of their relatives is going to send me $70 million.
No, that's the guy from Nigeria.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're still waiting on that.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Todd Starr? No, I don't want to do Todd Starr. I don't like him.
I don't even know who
Oh,
Todd
wait.
Starr
Here you
is.
go. This one you got to hear. This guy, his name's Jonathan Cahn, has just written a book called Paradigm. And he's going to make the case here, and I want everybody to listen to it, that the Bible predicted the death of Osama bin Laden. The Bible.
Nice. That was written way back when.
We
and didn't
mentioned
even
in
know
another program, we
Osama
mentioned the
bin Laden.
nemesis, or we mentioned the
Yes.
enemy. Well, but whatever happened to him? When Osama bin Laden brought 9/11 to America, what happened? We're the largest manhunt in the history of the world. And yet, if you remember, it went cold. I mean, they said he was in Afghanistan. He's on a kidney dialysis. Nobody knew what happened to him. But the paradigm actually is going to sound crazy, but the paradigm actually reveals what would happen. And that is this. In the paradigm, the nemesis, the guy who brings destruction on the land, and in this case, bin Laden, in the ancient case, he was named Ben-Hadad. He's confined to his quarters. He can't leave his quarters. So he uses messengers. Well, that's exactly what happened to bin Laden. He couldn't leave. He had to do that. And when he lies on his bed, an assassination will begin. The paradigm says the nemesis will be assassinated. He's lying on his bed. The assassins draw near. Well, Osama bin Laden was lying on his bed in Pakistan when Navy SEAL assassins came near to the compound. And then in the paradigm, the nemesis, it will be executed in his bedroom. Well, what happened to Osama bin Laden? He was literally killed in his own bedroom. But could the paradigm actually give the timing of when it would happen? The paradigm says this: 10 years after this enemy brings destruction on the land, 10 years after, he will be assassinated. So when did Osama bin Laden bring destruction? The year was 2001, 9/11. Add 10 years, takes you to the year 2011. 2011, Osama bin Laden is assassinated as in the paradigm.
Woo.
Wow.
That's creepy.
It is creepy.
You notice how even on this, when he's promoting his book, he had to stretch he's in bed to 3 different points.
Right.
Well, he was sick and in bed, and he had to use messengers because he was in bed. Like anybody who was sick in bed would have to do. And he was in his bed when the assassin showed up. And then it predicted he would be killed in the bedroom, and he was killed in the bedroom. But this is a bedridden guy, so of course he was killed in the bedroom. Was he going to get killed in the fucking pool? Dog. Sorry. What's he going to get killed in the fucking pool? How's that going to happen? He's bedridden. This is yet another example of Christians finding prophecies after shit has happened.
Yeah.
There is nothing more useless than an after-the-fact prophecy. And I had another one where a lady said she might have predicted Trump. She's not sure. The fuck, lady? Who cares? It happened. The only reason a prophecy would be useful at all was to know what is coming and be able to change it, prevent it, mitigate it, whatever.
Right.
Wow. So basically what this guy's saying is, well, I looked at Osama bin Laden. I wrote down like 3 facts about him. It was 10 years. He brought destruction.
He was in a bedroom.
And he was in a bed. And then I looked through the Bible for somebody who was 10 years
brought destruction
before he
and
died.
was
He
in a
brought
bed.
destruction and he was in a bed. And, there's a lot of shit in the Bible.
Yeah, there's a lot
right.
of
So
shit
he
in the
found this in Kings. Well, shit. There's nothing in Jeremiah about bin Laden. Because that house was not filled with dead bodies. No. And besides, a house filled with dead bodies, some of them didn't die in the bedroom. Therefore, the Bible is fucking wrong about Al Qaeda.
Right.
If they were predicting Al Qaeda with the house full of dead bodies, never happened. Might be Walking Dead though. Because then you could say the house is full of dead bodies if they're walking around, kind of bumping into each other. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Well, the Bible does.
You're nut.
The Bible does predict The Walking Dead.
You're nut.
And we're going to get to that. When we get to the Gospel of Matthew, zombie apocalypse happens.
I'm so excited.
In fucking Matthew. Yeah. Right after Jesus dies, all the dead in Jerusalem rise up.
Wow.
This happened. Of course, it's not written down anywhere else at all. Nobody else thought it was important to write down. They just waited for Kirkman to make a series 2,000 years later.
Isn't that why they built a big ass wall around Jerusalem to protect themselves from the zombies?
Yeah, because of the zombie apocalypse. Because they knew, because it happened before.
Oh, you can tell.
Even though no one wrote it down. Anyway, well, that's all I got for today, and we're well into it. It's time to wrap this sucker down.
Well into it.
I'll wrap it up.
How do you wrap it down? I was going to say.
You can wrap down or you can wrap up.
You can't wrap
Why would you
down.
wrap? Well, you can wrap in either direction.
There's no wrap down.
And we're talking about wrapping, like, wrapping paper, wrapping a bandage.
All right.
We don't do the other kind of wrap because we're
We're
white.
going to wrap down then.
Because we're no good at that.
Wrapping is relative. Okay.
White people can't wrap generally. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And there's exceptions to every rule. Like there's Eminem.
Then.
Well. Eminem's like that one rapper we can point to, right? Because nobody wants to point at fucking Vanilla Ice. No, ever. But so like we point to, hey, see, white people can rap. We have Eminem.
Right.
It's like boxing, man. Oh, well, there was Rocky Marciano. Right? No, we suck at it. Just admit we fucking suck at it and move on. What else we got, Susie? What's coming up? What's the contact information? Don't you do all that stuff at this point in the show?
Only when forced by gunpoint.
It's your job.
I have
your job.
one job.
You have one fucking job.
All right. So let's see. If you want to contact us by email, my email is
And stop looking at me like that because I think you're sexually assaulting me across the thing because there's serotonin in my fucking brain or something.
He's triggered. He's triggered.
Laser eyes.
Right? Apparently Christians are triggered
Will
by
you
seeing
shut
a
up and let
leg.
me give information?
Yes.
Thank you. If you want to contact us by email, you can contact Bill at bill.robbins819@gmail.com. If you want to contact me, it's sperry@yahoo.com. Don't know how active Bill is on Twitter lately because I kind of gave up my Twitter.
I am somewhat active. I monitor it and occasionally tweet.
Okay, then.
So if you tweet me, I'll get it.
At Schaefer079. Or if you want Barroom Atheist updates on Twitter, it's at Barroom Atheist. We also have our Facebook page, Barroom Atheist. I think that's it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We have that call-in line to leave messages.
Yes, we do.
Do you have that number?
Do you have that? You should have that number. You should know that number by now.
I know.
Because it's your job.
But I always
But
ask.
it's 484-352-2004. You can call. You can leave a message. We will listen to it.
And we'll talk about you.
Sometimes we do. Actually, since we're talking about that, perhaps I should do that.
What?
Well, I got a call. I got a message.
When?
At some point.
Long ago.
No, not long ago. Got a voicemail and check it out. I didn't hear it. I didn't listen to it, but I got the text transcript of it. So I'm going to read the text transcript because.
Okay.
This is from listener Fred. He said he's calling to say he really, really enjoys the show. Hey, this is pretty good text transcript, actually. I actually really love you guys' political stances on a lot of the issues that are going on. I actually just listened to Charlottesville, so it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
Which is awesome. That you guys had some really great insight, both you guys together. I'm just skimming here.
Skim away.
He's got some podcast questions, which I'm going to contact him directly on. Because you guys aren't interested in the mixing and
Nobody likes any of that
nobody's
stuff.
interested in the technical stuff. But anyway, and he gives us his phone number. But
We got a call. I'm so impressed.
so yeah.
Thank
So-
you, listener Phil.
Fred.
Fred.
I think it's Fred. It may be Phil though, because remember, I'm looking at the text transcript. So we're gonna call you back. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to, and Shujin Tribble also called on our
Shujin.
And let's talk about upcoming guests real quick. Mel Rice is gonna come on the show. She's
And-
been on a lot of other podcasts, never on ours.
And we're going to talk about her podcast. and
She's
how
going to
we hate
start a
the name.
podcast. She's going to do a happy podcast. happy kind of humanist stuff is what she says.
Right.
You know, they're still forming it. Hopefully in 2 weeks they'll be a little more formed. The name
Puppy
is
kissing and
still
stuff.
up in the air. Yeah, there might be puppies or kittens or something wonderful. Basically, when you're listening to people bitch like we do
all the time,
and like a lot of our associates do a lot, you could, you know, you'll have all that salty, sour taste in your mouth like you've been eating chips all day.
Right.
And then you need something sweet, you'll be able to tune into Mel's podcast. So we're really looking forward to having her in 2 weeks. Talking about positive humanism. Excited about that. And also, I found out there's actually a group called Republican Atheists. Yeah,
real?
Susie just went, huh?
For real?
Yeah, and the president has agreed to come on our show and tell us what all that means. You could be a Republican and an atheist. You could. They're not
Okay.
incompatible.
That's true.
I just don't know how you square some of those views. I mean, you could be like for lower taxes, smaller government. I mean, those things don't really translate at all.
All right, then.
But I don't know how some of those other views, and I'm looking forward to having a discussion and asking her. So that's going to happen probably, I don't know, after that Mel episode, because we're going to mail him first.
Okay.
That's our plan. Anyway. And
Sounds good.
That's all I got, but wave at the camera. This is Sean and Alexi. They came by, and we're going to like hang out and visit with them now that we're going to get off here. So with that, I'm Bill.
And I'm Susie.
Stay reasonable, my friends.
You're pissing me off, man. Fuck.
I bang on the door, but you won't let me in. 'Cause you're sick and tired of me drinking up gin. Locked all the doors from the front to the back. And left me a note telling me I should pack. I walk in the bar and the fellas all cheer. Order me up whiskey and beer. You ask me why I'm writing this poem. Call it tavern, but I call it home. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Pour my beer down the sink. I've got more in the trunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. And I'm going to be drunk till the next time I'm drunk. You've given me an option. You say I must choose between you and the liquor. Then I'll take the booze. Jumping on Buster down to the south side, where I'll sit down and exercise my Irish pride. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Pour my beer down the sink. I've got more in the trunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. And I'm going to be drunk till the next time I'm drunk.
Get off that stage.